know a lot of people buy organic groceries, but what's the deal with organic cosmetics or all natural cosmetics? Are they really worth it? Do they really help? Dr. Sabrina Fabi is here to explain and sort of sort out fact from fiction. All right, Dr. Fabi, I see this a lot in the grocery store or in, cosmetic lines, this whole all natural. What's the difference here?
Well, being natural doesn't necessarily mean being organic. And so what we have to recognize is that it's the Department of Agriculture that deems something organic or not. And really, there's no definition that the FDA has been able to give to something that's natural. But we know that natural things usually come from nature, specifically plants. And what's done with them is that they're taken to the laboratory to be modified so that we can extract the natural ingredients from those products that have some meaningful value on the skin.
All right, so let's talk about some of those natural products. I've got two sets of video here. I want you to talk first about mushrooms. I saw this, and then you mentioned olive oil, coffee berries. What are we talking about here?
I know. So mushrooms, believe it or not, do have some anti-inflammatory effects. But with many things that are natural, like poison ivy, let's say, we're not just going to put it on our face or our skin just because it's natural, right? And so here's the same holds true. Shiitake mushrooms can cause a rash, and so that's not a type of mushroom that you would want to put on your skin, but other mushrooms do have some anti-inflammatory properties that have been found to actually decrease the degeneration that occur at the level of the cells, specifically from UV damage. And so we're going to see more and more cosmetic products have mushrooms, hopefully not shiitake mushroom extracts, that can give us this benefit.
Right, and you also mentioned olive oil, these coffee berries. Talk to me about some of those.
So we always hear about superfoods, and we're recognizing that perhaps some of them, being coffee berries, may have some type of anti-inflammatory effect, not just when you consume it or eat it, but also if you can take the extract and put it in a topical to have a meaningful result in the skin. And that's exactly what we've seen. There was actually a study that was done. Half of the group had just the coffee berry extract applied to their entire face. The other group had a split face. Half of their face had this topical applied and half didn't. And there was a significant improvement in those that actually had the coffee berry extract applied to their face in their acne and the inflammation that came from that acne.
Well, I hope those participants then could get the second half of their face fixed so they didn't only have a bit. Before I let you go, a couple other ones that I thought were interesting. Green tea we hear a lot about. Oatmeal and the whole an apple a day could keep the doctor away, right? No offense.
I know. So although I don't want to keep my patients away because I do love them, what we have seen is green tea has been something that's been around for a while. When consumed orally, we know that it has an antioxidant effect. We just don't know how much you have to consume to have that meaningful effect. When applied topically, we are limited because we've seen that it's oxidized or reduced. It's actually the chemical in the topical doesn't have any value once it actually gets to the skin. So we have to be careful because sometimes, even though we know some of these things are great, they don't necessarily translate when they're put in a bottle to be applied to the skin.
I'm looking at that video of oatmeal. It's thinking oatmeal on your face, fungus with mushrooms, a whole lot of good stuff to keep those wrinkles away. Dr. Fabi, thank you so much for joining us. We appreciate it.
Thanks for having me, Jen.